Welcome to another lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to look at failover clustering. The main idea, the main focus behind failover clustering is continuity. System or employees being able to access resources whether there is a machine down or not. And under the failover clustering that we are going to look at specifically, we'll be focusing on file server under the failover clustering. So before we start with our failover implementation, in this video I am using 3 servers, where the fourth one will be a client machine that will be used to assess whether the file server can be accessed or not. So on these 3 servers, I have my DC, which is this one. I have my next machine. I have named it FO-1, meaning basically the FO has to do with the failover. So failover machine 1, machine 2. I have my client machine, which at the moment is off. So these 3 machines, what we have to do before installing the failover clustering itself, you need to make sure that, or what I have done is my FO1 and 2 are member of the domain, which is my DC. So that is one thing that you need to have it at the back of your mind. And then so you just also have to log into these machines using the account that have the administrative privileges. So in this scenario, I am using the administrator of the domain controller. So that is one thing that you need to also have it at the back of your mind. So I will go ahead with the failover installation on the 3 machines. So under the server manager, manage, you go for add roles and features, move to next, then we move to next also. So it is a feature that actually comes with the server operating system. So you can see that under the features and on top of the group policy management that has been checked or installed, we have the failover clustering. So I'll kindly check the box beside the failover clustering. Then we have the add-on features that will be installed alongside the failover clustering. So just click on add, and then we have the description here, which says the failover allows multiple servers to work together to provide high availability of server roles. Failover clustering is often used for file services, virtual machines, database applications, and mail applications. So out of these services, we are going to look at the file services, right? So I'll proceed and then I will install. So I will do the same on the remaining 2 machines. So after the installation is done, you can see from my end it says restart is pending, so I need to restart my machine. So let us restart the machine. Okay, so done installing the failover clustering on all the 3 machines. So I'll be using the DC to manage the 2 machine that we are going to use for the failover. So we need to launch the failover clustering console. So I'll go to, so bear in mind that the machine that I'm using at the moment is my DC, right? So I'll just click on tools and the server manager and search for failover cluster manager, so which is this one in between the file server resource manager and then the event viewer. So just click on that, then we wait for it to launch. So bear in mind that these feature can also be managed with the Windows Admin Center. So I'll kindly minimize this one. So when you launch the failover manager, the failover cluster manager, this is the interface. This is how it looks like. We have the main panel or the detail panel. We have the action panel as well. So under the main panel, under the failover manager, we have the overview, we have the clusters. So the machine that you are going to add under the failover will be displayed here, so which is the clusters. Then we have the management. So for you to be able to manage or set up a failover, we need to focus our attention on this area, the management, which says now to begin to use failover clustering, first validate your hardware configuration and then create a cluster. So that is the first thing that we need to do, the validation configuration. So after these steps are complete, you can manage the cluster. So after we go through the validation, we then have to focus on creating a cluster, then we take it from there, right? So without wasting much time, we focus on the validation configuration. So I'll just kindly click on that. Wait for it to launch for us. Okay, so validation configuration wizard. So we have, before you begin, so let's go through that one together. It says this wizard runs validation tests to determine whether this configuration of service and attached storage is set up correctly to support failover. A cluster configuration is supported by Microsoft only if the complete configuration, that is server, network and storage, passes all tests in this wizard. So what you are going to look at is 2 machines involved, their network adapters, network connectivity, and then also the storage that they are having. If these 3 areas passes through, then we can go ahead and then create a cluster. If not, we need to work on it till they passes the validation test, right? So that's it. And then it says what, in addition, all hardware components in the cluster solution must be certified for Windows Server 2019. Right, so if you want to validate a set of uncluttered server, you need to know the names of what the server is important. Storage connected to the selected server will be unavailable during the validation test, and then Right, so we proceed by clicking on next. Now here we need to now enter the two machine, the name, the computer name. So you need to always make sure that you change or update the computer name of the computers that you are going to use. If you don't change it, you need to type the generated computer name by yourself. So here I can decide to browse. I will just type, since I know the machine, I'll just type the name of the two machines here. Mine is this. So the computer name dot active, which is the domain name. Okay, then I'll click on add. So now it's trying to verify whether the machine is active, and then I will also add the second one, f0-2.exdev.com. Then I'll add this one. Okay, so wait, so now we can see that the two have been verified, they are all available. So proceed by clicking on next. So that is the test options. We have that, so choose between running all tests and then running selected what test. So the test examine the cluster configuration, Hyper-V configuration, inventory, network storage, and what system configuration. Microsoft support a cluster solution only if the complete solution, that is the main three, server, network, storage, can pass all tests in this wizard. So we stick to this one, run all tests recommended. We move to next. Then these are the categories of the items that will be going through the validation test. Right, so we'll stick to that and move to next, and then we wait for it to finish running the test. Okay, so now the validation test is done, and then we can see from the summary of the test that the two machine has been validated. And then when we go through the list that was tested, almost all of them was successful. We have the following that were not applicable, right? So we can see from our list that the only thing that we got was just warning, no error. So that is a good sign. So now we can go ahead to create our cluster. So I'll just click on finish, and then click on this one. So bear in mind that when you are done with the validation configuration, cluster or clusters having been created, so you will not see anything under the clusters table. So we are now going to create one. So click on create one or create a cluster, and then but before that I need to do something. But let's go through together. As I said from the beginning that we are doing this one together. So errors will pop up. We have to solve our error problems. So cluster creating wizard, which we also have it here. Just kindly take time and then read through before you begin. Move to next. Now I have to select the two machines that have gone through the validation test. So I'll just type in the name of that add, and and then I'll add the second one to it. Failover 2.exdev.com. I'll add this one too, and then move to next. So now we have to give it a name. So the name that will be a shield or umbrella for the two machines that we have stated. So what should I use? I will use the name DC-FO. DC-FO. Move to next. So configuration, okay, ready. So we can see that the confirmation, we have the cluster name, we have the two machines under the cluster, we have the cluster registration, which is Active Directory DNS, then we have the network. So the cluster or the failover has been able to detect that these two machines are on what? DHCP, a network 1.0/24 network. So move to next, and then this one to go ahead to create the new cluster for us. So we wait whilst it is creating. Okay, so now the is done with creating the wizard. So we just click on finish. So you can see that now we have the failover cluster finally created. Summary, the number of nodes under this, we have this 1, 2, the name, the current word host, and then we have the following. So the next thing that we need to do is to configure having a row, and then we can later on add that. So quick one, I will have to do configure iSCSI for the two machines so that they will be able to share one drive. So that is what I'm coming to do now. I should have an existing iSCSI. So let's see. Okay, share data. So you let me create one fast and then proceed. So I will call out for my so I will have to create another one. Okay, so here it says empty. So okay, so you let me create a new one. Okay, do I have let me select drive M14. Next, we give it a name. So I'll give this one FO hyphen disk, FO hyphen disk. Next, size, since it will be for file, I will let me use 10 big here. Fixed size. Next, Okay, so we create a new target. So the new target will be FO hyphen data. Move to next. Then we have to add those machines that are going to connect to this. So I'll use the last option, enter value. I'll change the IQN to IP address. So I'll enter address 192.168.1.11. that is for the F01. Click on OK. I'll add another one, which is the second one. So 192.168.1.12 for the second one. Click on OK. Then we move to next. Authentication, we will just leave it like that. Move to next, confirm, then create. So wait. Okay, so it's done. So at the moment we don't have any machine connected. We go to F0/1 -1, sorry, tools, iSCSI initiator, yes, wait. Then we go to discovery, we go to portal. Let me verify the IP address of my DC quickly. 1.8. So I'll type the IP address of the DC, 192.168.1.8. okay, target, then we select the connect. Okay, so it's connected. Click on OK. So when we go to computer management, where is it? Computer management, disk management. So you can see the drive here. So we have to bring it online. We have to initialize the disk. Stick to the GPT. Click on OK. Can go ahead and then we format the drive. Next, finish. So it's done. We go to the next one, tools, iSCSI initiator, yes, wait for it to pop up. Go to discovery, go to discover portal, we input the IP address of the DC, 1.8, click on OK. Target, select, connect, sure, connected, click on OK. So we confirm from computer management. Disk management. Okay, so you can see that this one is offline, so online. Okay, so this is it. Now the two machines are now using the same drive. So we go back to the DC under our failover cluster manager. Then we now have to configure row. So click on configure row. Then before you begin, you kindly go through this, then proceed by clicking on next. Okay, so here what we need to do is another thing is to install the file server. This is what we want to do. File server, these are the rows that are available under the failover high availability. So I will quickly go to the two machines and then install the file server. So I will launch my add rows and features. I am on the F01, so I'll move to rows. Okay, so let me do that from the DC. So I'll cancel the row. We'll come back to this one. So under the server, the DC, manage, add rows and features, move to next. Okay, this one is not showing. This one is not showing, so that's the main reason why I wanted to. It was showing at that end, but it's not showing here. So let me go back again to my F01. Next. So I'll select this one, server pool, and then so the machine that I can, when I'm done, I can also be on the F0/1 and then do that on the file server on the F02, or you can still go there. So move to next. We expand the file and storage services. We expand the file and iSCSI services. This is what we are interested in, file server. So just click, then click on next. So the description here for the file server: manage share folders and enable users to access files on this computer from the network. So move to next, and then install. So while this one is running, I'll go to the F02, manage, add rows and features, move to. So this time I will select the F0/. Okay, so we continue, select the second one, move to next, and then we expand file and storage services. We expand file and iSCSI. We install this one, check the box file server, move to next, and then install. So let's verify whether the first one is done. Okay, the file server is done. Close. We move to the second one, wait for this one to finish, then we proceed. Okay, so we then proceed. Now it's done. So we go to the DC, back to the failover cluster manager, configure row, and proceed. So this time around, when we select, we are not supposed to get error. Okay, so assuming that we went ahead to click on this one for the first time without installing the file server on the two machine, would have gotten error here. So we are good to go. We move to next. Now it's asking us the file type that we want to use. General use, we have scale out file server for application data, so I'll stick to the general use and then proceed next. Then we have to give it a name. So what name are we going to give? So I'll use the FS, short FS, which is file server. Move to next. Now here it says no storage is available. So another thing, we need to create iSCSI, then we have to use it. So quickly I'll do that and then we come and proceed. So let me go back. Okay, so done adding the new disk. So we'll span the cluster name, then under storage, we expand the storage, click on the disk here, and we can see that here too there's no disk, so we have to click on the add a disk. So the first one was the first iSCSI, the second one is the third time. Yeah, so I can opt for the two since all the two servers machines are using that, so I'll just click on that. Okay, and then we are good to go. So now let's go back to the row. Let's go back to the row, configure. So it can be this, or just when you click on this one, this configure row, the one that you prefer. Move to next. File server, next. Name, I use what? FS. Next. So this is the drives that we have, the storage. Just I'll check the two. Move to next. It could be one, it could be two, it could be more than, yeah. So depending on the number of drives that you have available, you can just pick them and add them to the failover. So move to next, and then we have this high availability was successful for the row. Click on finish. So when you go to the rows, we have this one here. So at the moment we have the F02 as the main file. Let's check. So the network here, we have the network cluster, the subnet, okay. So because I use the DHCP, so this is just the actual IP addresses of the cluster. So when you go to the nodes, we have the two machines here. So realize that we have the vote assigned, current vote. Yeah, so this is it. The row here is running. We click on it, we have this one. So because of the DHCP that I used for the two machines, the failover automatically have assigned IP address to the failover cluster. So those of you that be using the static IP address, when you are configuring the row, you get a portion where you have to specify the IP address that you want to use for the two machines. So I can go ahead and then this one is the main one, so I can go to the F02 and then I can create a folder here, share folder. So on the drive, I'll come here, create a folder. Let's say dt-sh, the name of the folder. So if I share the folder, to everyone, set to read write, click on this one, there is it. So inside I'll create a notepad file, then I will name it data. Okay, so this is there. I close, save. Now let's check whether the share folder can be accessed from the F0 slash or hyphen 1 disk. So realize that the drives are not what showing here. Why? Because this one is the main according to the failover that we have here. The owner node is this one. So when we check for the status or the cluster name summary, we can see that the current host server is F0/2, -2, meaning the active one. So what happens when the active one goes off? What happens if the active one goes off? So I'll kindly shut down this F0/2. I'll shut it down and then let's see the outcome of that. So whilst it's going off, you'll be here, and then we can see that now the current host server has changed to F0-1, right? So if I come here, you can see the two drives now available. If I go inside this, the folder is there, and then I can access the content of the shared folder. So basically this actually brings us to the end of the failover specifically for file server. See you in the next video.